Alright, listen up, because this is the wildest reality TV moment that's also a certified internet punchline. We all know Kim Kardashian is under ridiculous pressure. She's juggling the bar exam, her massive business empire, co-parenting with Kanye, and oh yeah, she just found out she has an aneurysm that doctors blame on stress. So she goes to get a brain scan with celebrity doctor Dr. Daniel Amen, who previously scanned Khloe and Kendall, by the way, and that's when the doctor drops the bomb. His scan showed a key part of her brain. The frontal lobe, which controls focus, judgment, and stress management, has low activity. The response was instant and perfect. Kim, known for her high-functioning persona, was in complete denial. She looked at the doctor and said, "That just can't be, it just can't," not accepting. But the moment this episode aired, the internet exploded. Why? Because the dramatic diagnosis of low brain activity dropped right after news that she had failed the California bar exam again. Suddenly, the medical finding wasn't a concern, it was the ultimate high-profile excuse. So we have to ask, is this a serious medical finding that explains her stress, or did Kim just gift the internet the most expensive scientific punchline of the year? We're breaking down the scan, the basic science behind the brain area in question, and the hilarious savage online reaction.
What are those holes?
Yeah, I don't like that. So what the holes mean is low activity. Compared to this one, the front part of your brain is less active than it should be. With your frontal lobes as they work now, it would be harder to manage stress. And that's not good for you, especially as you're studying and you're getting ready to take the boards.
That just can't be. It just can't. Not accepting.
For whatever reason, you're not getting, and it could be the chronic stress that you've been under trying to think about taking the boards in a couple of months and studying 10 hours a day. Not to mention all the other things that go on in your life.
Yeah.
But we have to make it better.
I gotta get on a plan to really figure this out because I have some to do this summer.
So Kim sees her scan, she's in denial, but Dr. Amen is there to explain why this low activity in the frontal region is actually a major red flag for her high stakes life. Here's the breakdown. The frontal lobe right here is the absolute control center of your brain. It manages your executive function, problem solving, emotional regulation, judgment, and self-control. The parts you need to run a billion-dollar empire and pass the bar exam. This is the area that essentially dictates your personality and your ability to set and achieve complex goals. Dr. Allman explained that reduced activity in this area makes it significantly harder to process and manage chronic stress over long periods. Given everything Kim is dealing with, he sees this low activity as her brain struggling to handle the sustained pressure. Reduced activity, he warned, is not good for someone getting ready to take the board. But wait, it wasn't all bad news. The doctor was quick to tell Kim that overall her brain looks beautiful and healthy. He also specifically noted that her outlook and emotional baseline appeared unusually optimistic for someone under that kind of sustained pressure, saying she was not terribly stressed, not anxious, and not depressed. He wasn't suggesting anything extreme like Alzheimer's. The problem wasn't depression. The problem was the long-term toll of stress that wasn't manifesting in obvious emotional ways. Just quick ego stroking, probably. So the doctor's direct prescription was simple. Stress management would be critical if she wanted to maintain her mental health and performance level. Kim, ever the businesswoman, agreed, "I've got to get on a plan to really figure this out because I have some ish to do this summer." Now, the timing of this diagnosis is absolutely everything because it landed right in the middle of a massive public controversy and the internet had zero sympathy. Now, this is the part where the internet became absolutely savage. The timing of this low brain activity diagnosis was a PR disaster for Kim. The episode aired right around the time news broke that she had failed the California bar exam again, and instantly, the brain scan went from a medical check-in to the ultimate high-profile excuse for not passing one of the country's hardest legal tests. The mockery was swift and relentless. Critics joked, "So that's her excuse she won't pass the bar exam." And I thought the low brain activity was just the Botox freezing her face. Another user simply stated, "Didn't need a brain scan for that." The online backlash wasn't just about the diagnosis, it was a critique of her privilege and the way she handles stress. Many pointed out the ridiculousness of her situation. If I had the money, I'd pay someone too to say that after not passing that bar. She's a billionaire, she can absolutely walk away, lol. However, there was a small pocket of sympathy that acknowledged the impossible pressure she's under. One user leveled with her saying, "I'm not a fan, but low brain activity can be attributed to stress as well. Imagine Kanye West being your baby daddy. I think my brain would shut down as much as it could to forget that and try to handle the stress of that custody agreement." This joke about Kanye highlighted the very real, non-glamorous stress layers onto her already demanding life, but even with the sympathetic voices, the damage was done. The low brain activity finding became the internet's punchline. But here's the thing, before we accept this finding as medical fact or just a convenient reality TV plot point, we have to look into the doctor and the specific science behind this controversial scan. Before we just accept this finding as medical gospel or a convenient bar exam excuse, we have to look into the source, Dr. Daniel Amen, and the specific scanning technology he uses. This is the elephant in the room that the reality show conveniently skips. So what's the problem with SPECT scans? Dr. Amen's entire practice revolves around using a specific type of brain imaging called a SPECT scan, single photon emission computed tomography, to diagnose and treat psychological disorders. While SPECT is a real medical imaging technique, Dr. Amen's application of it is highly controversial and widely disputed by the mainstream medical community. Major organizations including the American Psychiatric Association, APA, and the American College of Radiology have publicly stated that SPECT scans are not scientifically validated for diagnosing psychiatric disorders or personal traits like focus or stress level. Critics of Dr. Amen's approach, who often call him a self-help guru rather than a medical scientist, argue that his scans are often spectacularly meaningless for predicting mental health outcomes. He is criticized for exposing patients like Kim to radiation for scans that lack scientific consensus on their utility in this context. The major concern is that Dr. Amen interprets patterns of blood flow, which SPECT measures, to diagnose issues that should be diagnosed through a detailed clinical interview, not a $3,500 celebrity brain picture. The reality TV connection? This controversy frames the entire scene on the Kardashians. Amen has scanned Khloe Kardashian and Kendall Jenner in the past, making this a pattern. To his critics, these TV appearances are less about standard medical care and more about leveraging celebrity promotion to sell expensive non-consensus scans to the public. So, while Kim's stress is undoubtedly real, especially with the pressure of law school and co-parenting, the finding of low brain activity in the frontal lobe is based on a technology that many top neurologists and psychiatrists worldwide simply do not trust for this type of diagnosis. So, let's wrap this chaotic saga up. The Kim Kardashian brain scan is the perfect snapshot of the mega-rich processing their very real, intense personal pressures. But through a controversial televised lens, Kim's stress could be absolutely real. The script highlights her immense pressures preparing for the bar exam, dealing with co-parenting with Kanye. As one user noted, imagine Kanye West being your baby daddy, and recovering from the emotional toll of the Paris robbery trial. She even had a past diagnosis of an aneurysm blamed on stress. But the beautiful irony of the entire scene is her immediate reaction to the diagnosis. That just can't be. That instant public denial of the stress-related finding is the perfect proof of the issue. She was being diagnosed with a struggle to acknowledge and manage chronic stress. Ultimately, people are divided. On one hand, many see this low brain activity finding, especially from the controversial Dr. Amen, as nothing more than a convenient, expensive excuse for failing the difficult bar exam. It plays directly into the stereotype of the privileged reality star trying to buy a medical answer for a lack of success. On the other hand, the clip perfectly illustrates that even those with endless resources and beautiful brains are not immune to the crippling effects of long-term stress. The question remains, was the low frontal lobe activity a real medical finding that Kim needed to address to improve her focus for the bar, or was it the most expensive excuse a reality star could ever purchase? Let us know down in the comments. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. The algorithm loves that. Till the next one.